Hi out there, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have a project to share I wanted to show you today because a couple of my items are going on to new homes. So I wanted to show you what I've been working on. I have a terrible camera angle for this, I apologize. But I'm not a videographer and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. Okay, so what you see here is one of the Japanese rice bags, and I've I just was so interested in the design for using them as project bags. So far I've done two complete ones that I want to show you, and I have a third one in progress. I thought maybe you might be interested in seeing how it goes together. So if anybody out there doesn't know what they are, it's a takeoff on a typical Japanese style and that has a history about it that says little bags were made like this to take rice to the emperor once a year. But I love how they draw up and they come out into these 4 points and then you carry them by the handle, and I just love how they close up but not too tight. And they would serve as a container in your craft room or traveling, makeup, blow dryer, brush, comb, whatever. Could also make them for giveaway gifts. Would hold a wonderful uh, bag of cookies or anything like that. But here's what I did. I had to have a gift from my quilt guild. So I wanted to make something, and I tried this one first, and you can see the color scheme that I used. It's a beautiful leafy print with rust and red, and it has teal in it. So I picked up on that, and I patchworked it together, including the bottom, and then I did some slow stitching. Although I'm telling you, it doesn't show up on this fabric. It's just not uh, loud enough, bright enough. But you can see a little bit of it here. And I just went random, spontaneous circles and lines and swoops, and I got it the way I like it. So it's fine. I'll use this one for myself. For one reason, the lining doesn't fit in there as tight as I want it to. It's okay for me. So in my next one, I got a little bit better. I'll show you what I did. I had some scraps, and I mean scraps, of this. I think this is a Susan Wingett print, but the bird feathers, and they were small. So I found, oh, two or three, even four, I didn't need to use them all, shades of beige that kind of set it off. So I patchworked that together. And I just happen to have here in my stash um, a suede skirt from the thrift store. And it was the perfect color for one of these shades in the leaf, one of this color here. So I put a leather bottom on it, suede bottom, and then I lined it with a very neutral beige color, a little bit heavier than normal fabric. This was probably a curtain fabric or something like that. And the lining and everything fits perfect in this one. So I'll show you on my third one exactly how I put it together. This one's going to be for my quilt guild. So I think that'll be nice. But here's how I did mine. Even though that you can find dozens and dozens of help tutorials on YouTube about how to put it together, I chose not to use the typical method there. What they say to do is have 5 squares, all exactly equal, and then you put them together, fold them up, blah, blah. Well, I wanted to have one long running panel. So what I did, I started, I have a backing. That's important, this piece right here, just to back it because um, that's going to, oh, I'm sorry. That's my lining. Then this was my foundation, which is, you can use quilt batting, or in this case, it's a piece of felt. And I use a lot of felt inside my projects, and I've washed many of them, and it washes up just beautifully because it really is just polyester felt. And on most projects, it does not matter what color you start out with because most of it doesn't show. But I had some scraps, and I mean tiny scraps, of this kitchen type print, which is basket of berries and pie and things like that. And then I found this little print, which the color tones were exactly perfect. So I mixed it up with that, plus some white to pick up on the white. And I have one long running strip. And what I will do is sew that together, right sides together, sew it together, and then a good size seam too. I don't want it small, about an inch, so that when I open it up, I've got enough to press there to keep it open. And then I'll hand stitch it to make sure that seam stays open. And then I would do the same thing with my lining. And how I put mine together was, I did the bottom. This will be my bottom, again, on a piece of felt, and put it right here. Make sure I have a little extra lining sticking out because I don't want to cut myself too short. And then after I sewed my long strip up, I basically have a large circle. So I divide it into 4, and I fold it, and then double measure it too to make sure. And then I come onto the bottom and mark exactly where it will be the same dimensions. And then inset the bottom almost like you would inset the sleeve if you were garment sewing. And so this will be my third one. Now these are the tabs that go along the top. And let me show you again. The top has these tabs, and I thought it through, and I thought they need to be roomy. They need to be firm enough that they don't wear out, but soft enough that they will gather up when you pull the string. So I came up with 2 normal thicknesses of fabric plus a little piece of a thin pellon inside. And then here's how I made them. I made a long strip about 18 inches, so it fit together like this, and then I cut them. And I like this little decorative edge sticking out, so there's a little, you can either do it plain, you can do it all one fabric, or you can use companion fabrics, and if you like this edge to show, there's just a little trick for that. Basically, this piece was 2 inches wide, and then the printed fabric was 3.5, almost 4 inches, no, 3.5 inches wide. And when you sew them together, of course, one is wider than the other, so it automatically forms this little edge after you open it up. So those 4 tabs, and I'll put it together, and I'll have a third bag. So I just wanted to show those off and see if you've even noticed all the tutorials on rice bags. I've heard about them, I saw it vaguely, but I got real interested when I was more interested in project bags. And I like this idea better than the flat project bags because my stuff is bulky. It won't fit in a flat project bag, although those are fascinating too, especially the ones with the vinyl windows in the front. Of course, they have a zipper on them. So, easy sewing project, good for anything, for a gift, for your own personal use, for travel, for kids. You could do it in kid fabric for them to tote around their games, their lunch, their drinks, whatever needs you have. So there you have it. Rice bag tutorial for today. And if you haven't looked at any of the tutorials online, um, please check them out because other people have great ideas and you'll be inspired. Hey, thanks for watching and watch again soon. I have 5 or 6 more projects that I need to get to show you and get documented, and some new things coming up on my Etsy site. So have a wonderful day. It's cold and snowy here in Northeast Ohio. Woo, burr, and the wind. Hope you're well and have a good day. Keep creating.